Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, everyone. Welcome to IPASS Online Review and Mentoring Academy. I'm Coach John, and I'm excited to be your host for tonight's Hope Talk session. We are also live here on a Facebook page. Please don't forget to like, share, and follow so that we can help inspire more nurses out there on their journey to success. And we know that preparing for the NCLEX or the Philippine Nursing Licensure exam can feel overwhelming, but you don't have to do it alone. So we have IPASS to support you every step of the way. From your application process to review sessions designed for your success. If you need assistance, just send us a message on our Facebook page and our team will be happy to help. So let's make nursing dreams a reality together. So, what's in it for us tonight? Again, this is Hope Talk, where we invite successful IPASS online review candidates in the NCLEX to share their wonderful stories and learnings from their journey in achieving the goals of becoming registered nurses in the USA, Canada, and Australia. We are so happy to witness one of my students how she passed the NCLEX exam. Without further ado, may I introduce to you Miss Leah Dcouto, USRN. Hi, Ma'am Lian.
Hello. Hi, sir. Hi. Good evening, coach.
Wow, Ma'am Lian, you look really beautiful tonight.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Good evening.
So, Ma'am Lian, we are so excited to hear how did you pass your NCLEX exam. It's just like the coaching session. It's just a casual conversation like we had
Yes,
before.
I'm actually very, I don't know, I'm very introverted. So this is like the first time I'm having something like this. It's a different
Wow.
discussion, but I'm very glad to be here today. And I'm very grateful with IPASS. That is very true. For my NCLEX journey, it was actually a very long process because I've done my nursing process through India and my nursing diploma and degree through India. So the certifications and everything, the process is a little slower. However, I'm actually surprised because iPass has actually helped me so fast. I managed to get everything done without any problems, that's for sure. It did take a while. However, it was actually very easy to go through iPass. That's one. So my NCLEX journey, it eventually started after I completed my degree course in nursing. So I've done my diploma, which is the general nursing and midwifery for 3 years. And then my degree course for post BSc and BSN for 2 years. So that's 5 years total of
Mm.
nursing. And then eventually, once I completed that, I was very keen on trying to pursue being a nurse in the United States. One is because my family, my sister, she lives in the US, she works there, she's a citizen there. At the same time, I feel like US speaks to me for some reason.
Mhm.
And when I wanted to pursue my NCLEX, I was very scared because it's very different. The way the studying is, the way the process in every organization in the hospitals are. So it was very confusing at the start. I didn't know how to begin. And then I came across iPass through few of my friends and colleagues. At the same time, my family members, they knew about iPass. So I went through the processing and they just told me that, Ma'am Leanne, just send us the documents and we'll take it from there. And all you have to do is prepare for your exam. So eventually, around 2024 of May, I eventually I spoke to the IPASS people, I gave them my documents, and then once I processed that, it eventually took around 4 to 6 months for everything to be done from India to US. And at that point, I started the IPASS Academy. I started doing my online reviews and trying to understand the concept, eventually trying to gel in with everyone since there are a lot of my brothers and sisters from Philippines here as well. It was very easy. And they are actually very, very nice classmates, very accommodating, especially even the educators. And of course, Sir Coach Jan, you've also been one of my very big motivations. And yeah, so in that 6 months while processing, I was very mildly going through a lot of classes, online reviews. At the same time, I was helping my sister take care of my niece. So it was simultaneous at the same time. And yeah, once I eventually got everything done, I applied for my ATT. And then from there onwards, I started focusing. I need to actually start preparing and not waste time. And yeah, that eventually helped me. It eventually took me 9 to 10 months for the entire processing and everything, but it was very smooth and I'm very grateful. It was a long journey, but a good journey.
Yes, thank you for sharing, Ma'am Dian. So, just want to let you know, guys, Ma'am Dian has a Filipino family as well. Am I correct to say that?
Yes, yes, from my mom's
So,
side.
yeah, she could understand a bit of Filipino here and there, and she's really respectful when it comes to having the conversation using the po and opo, no? That's why we're getting close when every time we do the coaching session. So,
Yes.
um, Ma'am Lian, the moment you started your review with IPASS online review, what have you discovered with yourself when it comes to your study habits?
So, as I said, that in the entire journey that I was studying, it eventually takes a very big toll on you since you're preparing from the beginning.
Mhm.
It's not that no matter how much experience you have, it's going to be very easy. It's actually something new it's a challenging process. And while I was speaking to Coach Jan, and he was understanding my entire point of view, how I study, how my focus is towards the studying the entire concept, he guided me in a way where I had to be prepared first myself. It wouldn't make sense if I was just going through the classes or any YouTube videos or any books, because unless and until you feel that you want to prepare for something, you're not going to lead anywhere. So I would like to share, I have 3 steps that I have actually followed in my entire journey, and it's with a complete, what do you say? It's with complete understanding and adaptation from the entire academy as well. This is what they've given it to me. And in short, I've come across 3 steps which I followed, which is number one, it is self motivation. So in self motivation, it's not that necessarily that your family members, your teachers, your educators, your coach, or anything, it's not them being by your side, it's you being by your side. So if you are not ready to face the challenges, if you're not prepared that, okay, it's time for me to start focusing, or even for that matter, if you don't even know why you're doing the exam in the first place, you're not going to go anywhere. So when I say self motivation, you need to remember, why did you take nursing in the first place? You need to know that you've studied, you've worked so hard all these years for what? And you know that the entire purpose of you doing nursing is because you want to give your services to the entire world. And at the same time, you shouldn't think of any exam for that matter, not only NCLEX, whether it's IELTS or anything. You should know ki if you're doing something, it's for a purpose. And this is just a step in the entire, whatever, how many steps that God has provided you. This is one step at a time. So when you self motivated, you need to know, okay, I need to study, I need to pass my NCLEX so that I can work in the US or Australia or Canada. I can make sure that I provide for myself, for my family, for everyone that I'm involved with. And I know it'll be successful if I take this step forward. So that's your self motivation. Then eventually, the step two is understanding the concept. As again, the IPASS Academy has always put in every class, every educator has mentioned this, that you need to understand the concept. They don't entirely mean that you need to read all five, six books which is provided. Even if you have those three specific books that you feel you're comfortable, you've studied it entire all your 4 years or 5 years, you need to know what you're studying. And you've probably had taken care of patients already. You've been through working as an intern in your clinical side. You've taken care of multiple people, including your parents for that matter. They are still considered as clients to you because you're taking care of yourself. You're a patient yourself, and then everyone around you. And when you understand why you're doing first, like why you're doing something, for like if you take care of someone and you're taking care of a wound, or if you're checking the vitals of a patient and you're seeing why you're checking the vitals of the patient, that's understanding for what you're doing that specific procedure. And eventually, when you understand what you're doing, which make it easier to study. At that same time, it wouldn't even be like you're studying. It will mostly be like, oh, I've done this already. So I just need to know step by step. Yeah, okay, I've done this, I've done this, I've done this. And then you've understood the concept. You don't need to focus so much on the disease condition, the side effects, the clinical manifestation. That's not how NCLEX has worked ever. And I'm pretty sure through all the online reviews and the classes and the coaching sessions, nobody has ever told you need to buy heart from here to here, from this page to this page, so that you can pass your NCLEX. That's not what they've told. They've specifically mentioned to understand what you're studying. So that's helped eventually. So the second was understanding the concept. And the third, the very big word that actually everyone knows already, is consistency. So now when we say consistency, I actually don't believe in studying for 15 hours and 16 hours a day because it's not physiologically possible. And physically, no one can study that long. And obviously, while we've studied so much, the maximum a person can focus is 45 minutes. However, because everyone's focusing on work and home, the as you say, homework and stuff like that, even like taking care of the family members and everything, it's not physically possible to study so much. Even if a person is focusing for 30 minutes, and that 30 minutes they are trying to understand the concepts of what they're studying, that's more than enough. And you, as a person, will know exactly how much you need to study. So, whether you study for 10 hours, or you study for 5 hours, or even if you study for 20 minutes in a day, you should know that this is your capacity and focus on that specific 20 minutes that you're really, really studying. And then that 20 minutes, including the other 20 minutes on the other days that you prepare, is probably what's going to lead you to success.
Very well said, Ma'am Dian. So
Thank
again, we
you.
have to name those three things that have helped you pass your examination. Is number one, self-motivation, right? So in a way, you
Yes.
also have to assess yourself in the beginning. What is really your goal? What's your short-term goal and what's your long-term goal? In a way, you'll be able to plan ahead how many months you're going to
Yes.
prepare for the examination, right? So it's not about
Yes.
memorization. Number two is understanding, which is correct. So you have to understand
Yes.
all the concept. That will help you not only for your knowledge basis, but also at the same time, when you do your practice questions, be able to adapt some of the test taking skills by using the practice test from the
Yes.
IPASS. Third is the consistency, which is a good thing that you mentioned because unlike like everyone else is very busy with their own responsibilities, probably at home with their work and and others. So when it comes to consistency, I just want to ask you, were you consistent during the time of your review? And what other responsibilities did you do during the time of your review?
So, while I was preparing for my examination, as I said, it took 10 months for the entire process. For the 6 months that my paperwork was going through, I was very briefly going through the videos because I was you need like social pressure along with studying. And I know it's actually wrong, but however, I'm human, and I think everyone would probably go through that as well. That you know that it's gonna be end on game when everything is processed and everything is going the right way. So when the entire processing was completed and I got to know that my paperwork was done, okay, I was like, all right, I need to. This was, I think, around 6 months before my examination. And once I started preparing, I made sure I didn't actually focus more on the online reviews. I kept it there. And while the online reviews were going on, I paid attention to what the educator was trying to portray of what type of questions would come. That's the main thing. I kept aside, I wanted to see what type of questions came, how the NCLEX would ask us the question, and what type of questions would come. So I went through the videos, I joined the classes every day to see if I'm understanding what base the questions are coming from. At the same time, while I was attending the online classes, I was making sure that I took my own notes as well as I've used the roadmap as my site to understand that, okay, the notes are coming from here. I use the roadmap to make it easier for me to remember what I have studied in the past 5 years at the same time
Mhm.
simultaneously. And I made sure I read my notes every day after or before I slept so that I would see, okay, this is what I've done for today. So that was my 20 minutes before I slept that of my study. So once I did those notes, at the same time, I was going through YouTube videos like Simple Nursing, Nurse Sarah, and even Nurse Christine for that matter. They've shown NCLEX videos of how you would answer specific questions to each condition or, what do you say, disorders based everything. You get an idea of how the questions are coming from. So when you study for a specific disorder of that sort or any anatomy of that particular thing, for example, respiratory system, and even through IPASS, you would know that they would probably focus on the main disease conditions that are coming because that is what is seen more in the hospitals as well. So, according to NCLEX, they probably just want to know if you just know what to do if
Mhm.
if a patient is coming to the hospital and what you do to the patient when they are there. So that's what I understood. And I focused more on just patient care, patient safety, all the things that a nurse is required to do in a hospital setting. I wasn't struggling to focus on just what medications are coming or what machines we need to use. I just needed to know what, as a nurse, I would do in that 5 minutes of time if a patient came to the hospital. So while preparing with the notes and the YouTube videos and even the roadmap, I also made sure I went through practice questions. At least it started with 10 practice questions a day eventually.
Mhm.
And then as long as I knew ki in 3 days, okay, I could suffice 10 questions, maybe tomorrow I'll start with 20. And then the next day I would start with 30. And there are days where I was not in the mood to study or I did not want to mentally stress myself. I would take a break, maybe read the same questions that I went through the day before, read
Mhm.
them again so that I know that, okay, I've studied this, this is what I'm comfortable with, I'm familiar with these questions, so that the next time I don't need to go back immediately. I can just review new questions at the same time. So that's how every day went eventually. And then when it became closer to 3 months of my before my exam, I started doing 50 plus questions, practice questions, because eventually I started becoming very familiar with how to maintain those questions. And once I started doing 50, then again it went to 60, then 75, and then maybe by 2 months before my exam, I could solve around 150 to 200 questions per day. So then I didn't want to go back to all the conditions and the nursing textbooks. I was focused on only practice questions. So I would say in those 6 months, 3 months is what I did by understanding the concepts from start to finish. I went through all the conditions and everything, read them once, tried to understand what I studied in my 5 years. 3 months I focused on that, and then the 3 months I focused on practice questions.
That's a total of 6 months of preparation
Yes,
per se. Because you mentioned around 10 months, but again, you just briefly going through the recorded videos or the live videos just to familiarize yourself.
yes,
What can you expect from this online review? And that's really smart for you to do that. You don't have to rush any with your online review. It's a matter of patience as well. Because you again in the beginning you have assess
yes,
yourself. You have to really understand um, why you're in this online review is for you to pass the exam and to become a safe nurse in the future. So that's the
yes,
reason why, Ma'am Lian, I believe that you have passed your examination on your first try. Because again,
yes,
it's a matter of preparation. That's how I see. And your mindset. You have a really strong mindset when it comes to your preparation. So when it comes to your assessment, partly on the practice questions, have you encountered results such as low, borderline, very low scores? And how do you cope with that scoring?
that's definitely going to happen. Nobody gets just complete success on the first without trying. And the good thing about IPASS as well is that including the online videos where you could review them any time of the day because it was right there. You didn't have to wait for anyone to be like, no, you can only use this video or this application or this website once in a day. You could use it anytime. And that was a benefit, I think, to me, and I'm probably for everyone as well. At the same time, they did provide questions and question banks as well, which I've actually used so much. I repeatedly used it so that it would be engraved in my head that, okay, these are the type of questions. I'm pretty sure IPASS will not just simply give us any questions. I know that they are giving us a question. It's probably similar to what is coming to the exam. And the first 4 or 5 tries I've had definitely was very low. I was confused. At the same time, I was considering my entire concepts that I studied. As I said, was it worth studying because I'm not trying to grasp it or I'm not getting it. But then eventually, as they say that NCLEX does try to trick you,
Mhm.
you know for a fact that IPASS has a way of making you understand as much as you want. They'll make you, they're not going to be like, oh God, you got this low percentage, so you cannot just give the questions again. They're not going to mention that. They've specifically mentioned that use these questions as much as you can, even if you fail or even if you get low, it doesn't matter because nobody is looking. Nobody is seeing that you're on your downfall except yourself. And you know for a fact when it's not reaching where you want it to reach, you're going to try harder. And that's the entire point of someone being there for you, which is what IPASS is there for me and for all of us. That, okay, I've got a low score. That's okay. I don't think it's going to make sense being sad about it because I'm not giving the exam right now. I have time. So I got low. I'm going to check the same questions that I got less in. I had to go back through each question so that I would review why exactly did I get low in this particular question. And most of the time, if you see, it's not that you're completely wrong in the question. They might ask you a specific way, and then you will probably think, oh no, I answered it wrong. But actually, it was
Mhm.
right. But the way you answered it was probably different. And Plex would prefer you to answer it this way. So the thing with iPass is that they actually explain to you of why this answer is right, but it's not the one they're looking for. So it prepares you that, okay, so I knew the answer, but it wasn't what NCLEX wanted. So now you know that this type of question, if it ever comes across, you know, okay, wait, they have asked me this way. I know this process because they've asked me before. Then you're going to look at the questions and options provided to you, and then you're going to be like, why is this wrong? Why are the among the four options, you're going to check why is each question, whether it's wrong or right. And then once you keep on giving these questions, eventually IPASS even know, you know, they keep track of how well you're doing, or how what you need work with, and that actually helps you. So if for most, when I had most of my issues with pharmacological questions, I kept it as one of the main subjects that I will look at last, because I wanted to focus on those subjects which I thought I could do faster. And I practiced with all the other diseases, or all the other respiratory, cardiac. I went through everything one by one, and then once I felt the need ki, okay, I'm done with cardiovascular, I can answer the questions that have been provided. I go back to pharmacology. I will see, okay, I got low in this, I'm going to try again, and then eventually you will see that the last time that I got low, I would get like 20% way better marks than what I got the last time. So
Mm.
it's a progress. Obviously, you cannot force yourself into going through each subject and just passing and not understanding. You need to take your time. So I would suggest everybody that when you're going through something, any test or any practice questions, and you feel like you're not doing well, even for the first 10 attempts, I feel those 10 attempts equivalent to the higher percentage of what you can get eventually. And those 10 tests that you have given is actually just minor steps that you're still taking. That, yes, I've done 10. I've managed to do 10 practice questions, and I've I've got low, but eventually I know for a fact that if this question comes to me tomorrow, I know I can answer it.
Mm. That's why it is really important to answer a practice question, most especially with IPASS online review or your mock examinations. Because
Yes.
somehow you have to simulate the real NCLEX experience every single
Yes.
day, nearing to your examination. Again, you're gonna sit for long periods of managing your anxiety, mental fatigue, you know. There are a lot of students who really pass the examination because they were able to build their stamina, and you'll be able to teach your own when it comes to the pacing, how fast or how slow you are reading the questions and answering each question. You also have to somehow know how ready you are before you even book the appointment. Oh, sorry, not book the appointment, book your examination day. At least you'll be able to know and assess yourself. Okay, in 2 months' time, I'll be able to take the examination already. Whether focusing on your timing, number one, how much you have learned from this concept already, and most especially, Lian, diba? Your confidence. You were able to build your confidence as you go along the way. This is how you unlock your success. For some, um, it requires really consistency. And again, not necessarily you mean you have to have high scores in the beginning of your practice test. But again, as long as you're able to focus more on your review and able to do practice tests every single day, eventually you'll be able to find some peace. And once you are able to see your scores ranging only from high to very high, right? So you'll be able to assess yourself. Now I understand what the concept is about. Now I understand the test taking strategies already. So with that, Ma'am Lian, when you experience having low scores, did you feel any moments of self-doubt, or do you think you might fail the examination? And how did you push through that?
That was that was definitely. I'm sure, Coach Dan, you were present at that point where I was. asking so much guidance while I was going through the exam process. At the same time, I was very confused at the point because when I was studying for my examination, I felt I wasn't prepared, obviously. And at the same time, while preparing, I felt the need that um, if I don't pass my examination, I would have to start from scratch again because everybody goes through when anybody goes through NCLEX, it's very difficult because the process is so long. And I knew for a fact that even if I didn't, if I'm giving the practice questions or if I'm going through the online reviews or watching the videos, I would in the start of the beginning think, oh God, I don't know, I can't understand this entire thing. I don't know how I'm going to go through with the exam. However, when every time I felt the need, I still again remembered about my three steps of the first step, the self motivation. I kept motivating myself of making sure of why I'm giving the examination in the first place.
Mhm.
So whenever I got the low scores or if I failed the practice test and it's not according to what percentage the NCLEX needed, I prayed to God and I was saying, God, please guide me through the next practice test that I give because I really need this. And of course, since I'm a human being, I would eventually be sad. It would take me some time to pro process everything that was going through, that I've not passed any few of my tests. But eventually, I would there's no point being sad about it for so long and then be demotivated because if you do so, then the entire point of doing your nursing is just a waste. And you've struggled so much and you've done so much in all these years with all your experiences. And I don't think that this one exam should define if you're a good nurse or not. So when you give any practice test or when you go through anything and you don't understand it, you have to make sure that you do your best in finding out what is bothering you or why you can't get this specific question or anything for that sort. And while doing that process, when you motivate yourself, you know that you would eventually reach where you have to. And once you get to know that, okay, maybe I'm not getting as well as in urology, I need to focus on why I am not getting in urology. Go back to the basics, understand entirely, then again go back to the practice questions, and then see the questions and be like, okay, I know what I was wrong with, fix it. And then keep it in your head that, okay, you've made the mistake, you know how to fix it, and then keep it in your mind so that it will help you in the future. So, as in my opinion, I don't think that you should be sad if you don't do well in your practice test or
Yeah.
even for the NCLEX for that matter. If you feel that you aren't ready, don't force yourself to give the exam. Give yourself time, pray to God, and when the time is right, everything goes according to plan.
Very well said, Ma'am Lian. Again, sometimes we tend to forget to pray. We sometimes we felt like we are alone in this journey, but no, you have all the support systems around you and cheering for you.
Yeah.
Again, you have your sisters and your niece with you. Sometimes they're the ones who's cheering you up in times of having difficulties in answering questions or understanding the concepts. But again, it's really important to take care of yourself at the same time. So when you
Yeah.
do study, ensure that you will take breaks in between. You don't have to force yourself to study 4 months straight, 4 hours straight, right? It's best if you'll be able to balance your time when it comes to studying and taking care of yourself at the same time. So, Ma'am Lian, again, specifically, how did you take care of your mental and physical well-being during the times of your review? What did you do?
So I love sleep. So I made sure that I got enough of sleep before preparing for anything for that matter. Even to start my day, made sure that I got 8 hours of sleep or more if required. Because everybody's body is different and I'm not even trying to say that everyone can get 8 hours of sleep because of their duties and everything. However, you cannot force yourself into doing things, because now if you force yourself to study, it's still going to put a lot of mental pressure in your head. You're going to be stressed out. You're probably going to lose your hair, because I did eventually. And you won't feel like eating, or the vice versa, you feel like eating a lot. But I'm not going to say that you won't have any psychological challenges during the exam. You're going to have anxiety, you're going to be stressed out, but you're going to have to search something that calms you down eventually. I used to take at least a 40-minute walk every day.
Mm.
I used to study. If I would study in the afternoon, I would go for 45 minutes just for some fresh air. I used to walk around. I used to take my niece. We used to walk, let her play with her. Then eventually come back, have a shower, and then I'll be relaxed. Then prepare something that would I would enjoy while studying. For example, coffee or something to eat. Just I need to be mentally relaxed before doing something, especially studying. So I know for a fact that when I'm mentally prepared to study or look at my books or go online for the class, I am stress free. Because if I stress and watch the video, I'm not going to have anything in my head. So you need to have sleep. You really need to rest. If you're tired while studying, take a power nap. Maybe sit with your family members, have coffee together, have a meal together, go out, go to parks, go to zoos, go to a mall, and I don't know, have just enjoy yourself even while you're studying. You don't need to keep yourself so strictly inside a box where you only have to study every day, because I don't understand the point of doing that. Because in your head it's just an exam, you can do it. You have studied so much that one exam is nothing. Just because NCLEX or US scare you that, oh, it's NCLEX, it's a very important exam, you have to get through it, otherwise you can't work as a USRN. It's true. But at the same time, you've been through harder things in life. Getting up each morning is way more difficult, to be honest. It's all in God's hand. And you know for a fact that, okay, when you sleep tomorrow, if you sleep tonight, you don't know if you're getting up tomorrow. So you need to have that mindset that, you know what, taking one day, each step as a time, get up tomorrow, have a fresh mind, have your food, have your breakfast, talk to everybody around you. And once you're mentally prepared, like, okay, maybe I should study now for 10 minutes or half an hour. That 10 minutes and half an hour would probably be kept in your head till you die, whatever you've studied at that time, because you're stress free. And I'm pretty sure in Philippines, I've heard my mom saying about SM Mall. I've been to SM Mall when I was younger, and I used to enjoy going to SM Mall so much that I used to actually imagine myself that, okay, I'm going with my mom to SM, because my mom would say SM tayo every time to me. I'm like, this the entire time. So I would suggest just enjoy even while you're studying, because there's no point stressing so much that it's going to affect you during your examination.
Thank you for sharing that, Tia, no? We try to avoid burnout because, again, this is a silent killer during your long-term review. Because, again,
Yeah.
some of our classmates are reviewing for more than a year, and that's okay because that's how you prep for your examination. So, usually we learn the hard way, and sometimes we discover something from ourselves. Um, what can you do more in this type of review? Let's say for an example, you're not the type of person who sits um in the chair for a long time. Again, you have to get up. You have to really exercise. Again, you have to do what you love to do, and mostly balance, because these are essential when it comes to your review. No? Again, self-care, reviewing at the same time, balance work and family. All in all, you have to know yourselves, your limits as well. If you're tired, just rest, right? Again, I agree what you said. You don't have to deprive yourself from anything that you wanted to do. At least in a week. For example, you plan to study for 6 days in a row. Then give one rest day for yourself and at least do something that you love. May it be do some uh family outing, take your family in a restaurant and have some nice dinner, get yourself some bubble tea, you know, just having this sustainable
Yeah.
review plan strategy that you have to really include self-care in a way, right? So thank you for highlighting this, Lian. It's really it's really important for us to remind ourselves that, oh yeah, I don't have to deprive myself when I study for NCLEX. But have you experienced pressure or did you feel any pressure from your family since you are preparing for the NCLEX? And how did you handle it?
Actually, my family was very supportive because I am a family of five, and I'm currently right now I'm in India,
Mm.
and my mom is in Philippines. She's visiting her sisters and everything. So my family, they knew that they already know that nursing is very tough. And at the same time, to where I want to reach in my life, I need to give this specific exam, which is NCLEX. And they might not know how important NCLEX is to a nurse. But at the same time, they would see that, okay, that if she passes this exam, it's probably one step closer to being in US or something like that. They all they did was pray for me, and I am very grateful, touch wood, pray, I'm very grateful to God because my family they've always been my motivation. They've always been with me through every step of the way, and at the same time they gave me my space. They didn't uh, bother me while studying. They didn't ask me multiple questions. When is your exam? How is your exam? Where will you give your exam? They actually left it all entirely on me to handle at my pace. So for that, I was very grateful, including my friends and families. Nobody knew, and other than my nursing classmates and colleagues, other than them, nobody knew how important this exam is. And I think they knew, like me as a person, I'm very quiet and I don't like to share what I'm doing to anybody until it's required. And probably I suggest that as well because it's nothing to do with how a person, everybody will be excited for you in whatever you do in life. The main people will be there for you. So if you feel like you don't want to share with anybody what you're doing, how you're studying, where you're studying, and when your exam is, you don't need to. All you need to do is ask the person around you to pray for you. You pray with them, just pray for your success, and I think God will just take it from there.
That's totally true, ma'am. Sometimes we just have to keep it to yourself, in a way, to avoid so much pressure going on.
Yes,
Again, all you have to do with this online review is just to focus on yourself, and one day you'll be able to announce to everyone that you have already passed the exam. In a way, not bragging, more on motivating them as well. If you could do it, they as well could do it, right? So for those students who are listening right
yes.
now, this is a really good advices and journey of Miss Lian with the Hope Talk. So Ma'am Lian, could you share what happened on the day of your examination? What surprised you the most without sharing anything that came out to your exam?
Okay. So when I gave my exam in Washington DC. This is when I was visiting my sister, and simultaneously, as I said, I was preparing for my exam, and I wanted to give the exam in US so that I would understand how it feels to
Mm.
travel towards the examination site and everything. So when I went to the examination hall, the first thing what they do is they inform you of what you can and cannot take inside. They will make sure that they check you that you don't have any papers or your phone. Everything will be kept inside a bag. And the thing that shocked me the most was it's actually very, very cold inside the examination hall. So make sure you wear something not too heavy, but something very comfortable that you know that you would wear when you feel cold. So something very comfortable, and they will give you a computer where you would probably answer all your questions. At the same time, when you are answering any questions that has been given to you, make sure you read the question 3 times, because irrespective, I think it's not only in US, I think anywhere where they would probably give these questions, the questions would look a little smaller comparatively. So you'll have to actually make sure you're reading it properly at the same time. And I also have this thing to say is ki, you know how everybody has that inbuilt that you need to answer 85 questions to pass your exam, which is not true, because I've completed all the questions, entire 150 questions, and I couldn't understand whether I would pass or fail, because through multiple reviews and through other people's what do you say, experience,
Experience.
everybody has different ways. There are people who have answered 85 questions and still fail. There are people who have answered all 150 questions and still fail. So it's not how many questions you're answering, it's how you're answering them. And I don't think once you reach 85 questions, you need to question yourself what is going
Mm.
on, why do you think, because I did, and I'm telling you out of my experience so that you don't have to. When you reach 85 questions, don't think that you failed, because you don't know how or who is correcting your paper or how the computer is going
Mhm.
to adapt everything that you've provided. Just take a deep breath. When you reach 85 questions, take a deep breath. Do the sign of the cross. Say a small prayer at that point. Just say, Jesus, please guide me from here onwards. And just answer them exactly how you were answering the first 85 questions. And at this point, think of it as that you're probably answering more than these questions, because the computer or whoever is checking your paper is probably finding potential in you, that you know that you're answering something. And don't even consider just because, oh, 85 questions, I just want to finish this exam and get over with. Just take your time, even if it takes 4 hours. Go slow, read the question 3 times, and I'm pretty sure the answer, your gut feeling, you'll know the answer, because you are a nurse. The NCLEX exam doesn't define you as a nurse, it just defines you as a USRN. It doesn't define you as a nurse. You're a nurse already. You're already registered, you've already taken care of people. Even if you're a new graduate, I'm pretty sure you've taken care of people during internship. You are a nurse. So just look at the question, read it twice, thrice, understand the options that are given, and whatever your gut says that that is the answer, just answer it and don't look back.
That's why I always advise to my students to answer each question with confidence. Again, you have to look back. You have prepared so much, months and months of preparation. You have sacrificed. You have done a lot of reviewing, doing a lot of work, other responsibilities at home, taking care of your niece, flying here and there from India to DC to, I mean, juggling both family responsibilities. Like, I remember you take care of your dad, right?
Yes.
That's why you went back to India. So again,
Yes.
I know there are times that as much as you wanted to be uh, consistent with your review, there are really times that you have to, again, balance everything. Again, don't be too hard on yourself. Again, you have prepared well so much. I agree with Ma'am Lian. It doesn't mean that you stop at 85 or 150, you're gonna fail. Again, as long as you're confident, the moment you step in the person view testing center, tell yourself that I'm ready to become an international licensed nurse. So with that, Ma'am Lian, we would like to present to you your IPASS certificate. So Lian, again, this certificate is proudly presented to Auxileanne Marion Dcouto for successfully passing the NCLEX RN examination. This serves as a proof that the successful candidate indicated in the certificate is a safe nurse based on the USA Standards of Nursing Practice, signed by Sir J. Padong and Sir Mark Zaspa. Congratulations, Lian.
Thank you. Thank you.
So, Lian, after you passed your examination, what did you learn about yourself during the entire NCLEX journey?
I probably believe that I am capable of doing many things with hard work and dedication. Because if a very important, very difficult exam can be done by me, then anyone can do it. That's definite. You don't need to think so much and stress so much about the exam. You just need to go with the flow. That's all I could suggest. Because if you stress, you're not going to reach anywhere. You just need to be very calm, composed, understand the concept, and then be consistent with your studying, and then just give the examination.
And how did passing the NCLEX exam change your life?
So when I got, so I gave my exam on a Saturday, and I think they expected quick results would come in 2 days. So I assumed that I would get it on Monday. So once I completed the examination, I didn't want to talk about the examination at all for the next evening and on Sunday. I just wanted to be doing something else.
Mm-hmm.
So my sister, she suggested, okay, you gave the exam, let's just have a nice dinner, go to
Mm-hmm.
sleep, get up, have a nice Sunday, go to church, come back, again sleep, so that I'm not thinking about the examination. And on Monday, I got up and I prayed, thinking if today is the day that I get my result, whatever comes my way, I'll accept it because everything is under God's hands. And I got a notification from IPASS. I got an email, and I had this in my mind that if you get your results so fast, it could either mean you passed or you really failed because you gave your exam so badly that nobody wants to check it, and they just sent you the result. So I was scared. So before opening iPass, I went through the quick results website to check the result myself because I was embarrassed whether if it was what it would be. And I went to the website, I prayed to God, I closed my eyes, I added the details, and then when I saw the result, I started crying because it's a very big achievement. I would, to anyone who has given the NCLEX before and whoever's preparing for it now, I think we should all like pat our backs because it's a big deal. Even if I say it's just an exam, it's still an achievement. And it's all hard work that comes across, whether you're preparing for it or you've already completed it. It's something that's going to be with you for the rest of your life. And when you get the result, it's the best feeling in the entire world. It's the same as when you graduated your last day of nursing and you get the certification that you're a nurse. It's the same feeling. And knowing that I passed, when I started crying, I informed my entire family, and my family also started crying. It was a
Oh.
very big, very, very big achievement, and I'm very grateful, especially to you, Coach Jan, for guiding me. At the same time, iPass Academy for helping me, for making me understand everything. It was a very, very good journey, and I'm very grateful.
Thank you for those words, Ma'am Lian. Again, would you recommend IPASS Online Review and
Most
Mentoring
definitely.
Academy? And
100%. I'm actually trying to get even as many Indian nurses possible to go
wow,
through IPASS, because a lot of my Indian classmates and colleagues, they have asked me, how did you prepare? And I did eventually tell them that I have gone through this academy and they've helped me so much. And it's also from my mother's hometown, technically my hometown as well, and they've actually very keen to start with the academy as well. So you're probably going to see more Indian classmates now, hopefully.
wow. We're looking forward to it, Ma'am Lian. Again, you have all the potentials. Again, you have a potential to become one of the coaches as well,
Hope
of the
so.
online review. Yeah. I think we have shared that conversation before, right? So we
Yes,
just wait for the perfect moment. And then again, congratulations in passing your NCLEX exam.
thank you,
And I
Paul.
know one day we'll meet, hopefully, in the USA, right? So
Yes,
congratulations once again in achieving this important milestone. I agree with you, ma'am. This is not just a simple achievement. It's a really great achievement for all the nurses. So thank you for inspiring our nurses out there. And we really wish you continued success in your life and your nursing career. So we are really looking forward to your success in the USA. And again, when are you flying back to Washington?
hopefully soon, because as everything goes, the visa process and everything, it does take time, and my family needs to adjust to me leaving as well. So, yeah, but
Oh,
other than everything, hopefully with God's prayers and everything, when the right time comes, I will go back.
yes, we just have to be patient at the moment. But again, um, every one of us will be in the USA very soon. All
Very
right.
soon.
So, Ma'am Leah, I just want to ask, what will be your last advice to our students who will be taking their NCLEX exam very soon?
Okay. I suggest you guys that when you when it's your 1 week before your examination, don't stress and don't study as much. I know you're still going to open your books eventually and be like, oh no, I need to study it. But even if it's not 1 week, maybe 3 days before your examination, just give yourself some time to adjust to what is happening around you. Make sure that it's not about what is in your head. Make sure you're mentally, physically, emotionally prepared for what you're going to take. You're going to do something and it's going to change your life. So you make sure that you have proper, peaceful, calm environment around you. Give those 3 days to yourself. Enjoy, probably go for a swim, go out somewhere with your family, relax. And I know that you guys are going to pass without anything. And probably with the help of your coaches and with IPASS, y'all are going to succeed.
Thank you for those wonderful advices, Lian. And again, we are so grateful to have you here with us at
Thank
Hope Talk. Earlier, I mean, months ago, we were just talking about inviting you to share your story and your journey because I know you'll be able to inspire a lot of nurses out there. And it really is. You are a really an inspiration to everyone, most
you.
especially on how to pass the NCLEX examination. So again, we are grateful to have you, Ma'am Lian. Thank you so much for having with us tonight. And again, all the best to your future endeavor.
Thank you, Paul. All the best to everybody as well. I hope you guys just study well, don't stress, and everything will come to you eventually.
Yes, and see you soon, Lian. Thank you so much for having us.
Thank you, Paul.